In terms of age, the character of Harry, who's of course the male protagonist in the opening sequence, is fairly similar to Louis Creed, who's the main character from the film Pet Sematary. These similarities come in firstly age, because whilst the actor playing Harry was fairly young, the character himself, the way he was established, for instance, the fact that he's clearly working, got a house with his girlfriend, he's meant to be a young adult, and as I said, this is consistent with Louis Creed, and in some ways it could be seen as a negative representation from the way that they're talking about money concerns. This is sort of based on the stereotype that a lot of young couples do have issues with money. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a real thing, I suppose. However, one of the most obvious differences between the characters is, of course, that the character of Louis Creed's profession is a fairly respectable doctor, whereas Harry, I tried to make him look more as though he's a shop clerk at perhaps a computer retail store. So he's sort of wearing a uniform of a white shirt and black tie. It's all very officious looking. In terms of Harry's role as a husband, I feel that he shared a lot of similarities with John Strode from Halloween 6. This comes from the way he's quite aggressive in his interactions with his wife. I tried to make the motivations for the character appear much like John Strode, as though he was just a bit of a control freak, seeking to deride and belittle his wife at any opportunity. This is obvious from the way he throws the ornament outside, and he's sarcastic during the argument, and it's also suggested that he's quite like this quite a lot from the way that she says, "I can't deal with you when you're acting like this." Clearly this is a negative representation of not necessarily the male population as a whole, but definitely those fitting into the social group of sort of financially struggling young husbands. And the reason I did this was to make the audience feel conflicted as to whether they like him or they don't like him. And this conflict is brought about towards the end of the scene, when he's later trying to have a softer side, in the way that he goes up to the garden to calm down, and rather than perhaps break things or get into a big sulk, he goes up and he just listens to music and has a sleep to cool down. This leaves the audience not knowing whether or not he's a friendly character who just got angry, or if he is truly a nasty man.